morning and welcome to ETX Covered. I'm David Littman. For the first time in nearly 3 months, bars in East Texas are open again this weekend. Governor Greg Abbott left it up to each county judge to decide whether to opt in and allow bars in their counties to reopen. Smith County Judge Nathaniel Moran was one of those who said yes. Judge Moran joins us now on ETX Covered. Thank you for being here.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
When the governor made his announcement that you could choose to reopen bars, what was the decision-making process that led you to say that, yes, you would opt in?
Well, for me, that process started months ago as I talked to the community about the things that we needed to do, in particular, have healthy habits, both in our individual lives and our business lives. And as the community internalized those habits and really begin to make those a practice, we see folks all over wearing their mask, washing their hands, keeping socially distanced when they can, really going about their day-to-day activities in a much different way. This decision became easier for me once it was presented and I was given the option from the governor's office to open up bars here locally. It was easy for me to do that because really the community is already doing a great job of taking those steps that we need to do to protect ourselves, our families, others around us, so that the spread of COVID does not get out of hand. We know it's not going anywhere. It's part of our community. We have to deal with it, but we're making good steps, and as a result of that, I don't see any reason why bars should not have the same benefit of trying to make a living as restaurants and other businesses in this community. They need to have that opportunity. I was glad the governor gave me the option to be able to do that on a local level to open those up.
The governor put some of the pressure on you and public health officials to maintain the health standards and enforce them. Any doubts about being able to do that?
Well, certainly we don't want to let up. We want to continue these healthy practices as a community, but we've said from the very beginning that, government could be a stopgap measure when this pandemic started, but ultimately the success of our community in defending against COVID-19 is in the hands of our individuals and in our businesses. We want to support those individuals and businesses and the healthy practices and healthy choices they're making. They're already doing a good job doing that. I believe they're going to continue doing it, but we don't want to let up. And that is the key. When we open up these bars, we don't want to let up. And a lot of our, a lot of our future in this regard is tied not just to here in Smith County, but other counties as well, because the governor's order talked about a trauma service area, and the trauma service area is what defines whether or not we can or cannot open up. If we stay underneath that 15% minimum threshold or maximum threshold, then those counties within the trauma service area, which is a big area in East Texas, then we have the option as counties to opt in and allow our bars to continue. So the fate is not just in the hands of Smith County citizens, but really East Texans generally.
Have you talked to any of the other nearby county judges about their plans or how to work together on this?
I have, and we've had several conversations throughout the past 6 months. We had regular conversations during the heat of the pandemic, and when we were having to make decisions here locally without interference from Austin. And so we were collectively working together to make sure that we were teaming up, because as you know, Tyler and Smith County really is a regional medical hub. So what happens in these other counties affects our county in that a lot of those that are in our hospitals come from neighboring counties. So we need to be sure to coordinate those efforts. So we have been doing that all along. We were on the same page, and I know I've had some conversations since the governor allowed the opening up with some other county judges to make sure that we were moving forward in concert.
When you put out your statement last week about reopening bars, you said that you appreciated having more local discretion and wish that could be the case in the future. So what are the things over these last few months that you wished you'd had some control over, or what do you hope to have control over going forward?
Right. Well, really the panacea of decisions, you can name them. Those are the decisions throughout this pandemic that we wanted to decide here locally. We appreciate the governor and all that he's done on the state level. He's in a very tough spot, as are any individuals that are having to make decisions for their families, for their businesses, at any organizational level. This is a tough situation. It's uncharted waters. We know he's doing the best he can, and we're doing our best to support him in these efforts. But what we also know is that here locally in Smith County, we know what's best for our community. Folks can reach me on the telephone. They can come down to my office. They can come to Commissioner's Court. We can have very interpersonal relationships and conversations about the effects of any government intrusion on their lives. And we can adjust and we can make those as least restrictive as possible and as rational as possible, and in accordance with the circumstances of our county which again is very different than Dallas County or Austin County or Travis County or even Harris County. Very different. And so we can take a look at our factors here locally. We can hear from our people locally, and we can make those decisions. It's nothing that I would run from, to have that burden of leadership here. That's what the people of Smith County elected me to do, is to make tough decisions, to serve as the head of emergency management here locally. So we are open to as many possibilities of local control here as possible, because we know what's best for Smith County, and we can do it in a very healthy and very safe way. We're certainly not going to be irresponsible or irrational in our decision making. Have not done that since the beginning of this pandemic when given the opportunity, and so we're going to do that moving forward to the extent the governor will allow us to do that.
Judge Moran, thanks for joining us today.
Hey, it was a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much.